The reason I want to tell you this case study is, number one, because the other truth of licenses is most of them make no money at all. It is depressing. It's very depressing. In fact, most of the IP that is in fact protected by universities, that is generated in the US and the UK, is never used at all. The vast majority of protected IP, all this stuff you're getting patents on, all this, especially patents, I will stick with that, all this patented stuff is sitting there and no one ever uses it at all. So I have a question for you. What were you protecting? Well, if nobody cares, what are you protecting? I'm sorry? You're protecting your CV, a perfectly adequate answer. I don't disagree with it. It is an indirect expression of what you've accomplished. It just happens to be a very expensive one. You might as well just publish, no? Now, don't you get the same recognition without the cost? You get it twice. You are far too artful for me. You're completely correct. In practical terms, your point notwithstanding, patents are mostly languishing. In most things that are protected are languishing. Most licenses earn nothing at all. And I think actually it's very interesting because most people impose a license regime on something they own prior to ever finding somebody who'd be interested in licensing it from them. Thus, God only knows where they're pulling the notion of what constitutes an appropriate license from, given no one's ever asked them for a license for it in the first place. That is particularly the reverse of the approach you might want to take. First, you need desire. Then you need to ask them what they want. Then you craft out of what they want the protections you need from the license you're handing to them. Because a license is temporary permission to reach society and make an impact with what you've created to the goals you've set for that intellectual property. And if they meet those goals, they continue to have that temporary right. And if they don't meet those goals, they don't continue to have that right. And that is what it is. It's you setting up a grading system for somebody else's borrowing of what you own.